All right, here we go. Probably one of the toughest algebraic lessons that we're going to do as far as moving things around. We're going to talk about combining like terms, also when variables are on both sides. This is going to help us get a lot of work done, but this is the last step. There's no more steps after this when it comes to solving equations, all right? After this, you'll have everything. All right, you got some problems? Let's go.
When it comes to you, I'm about whatever.
We riding.
All right, here you go. First problem is going to be negative 20g plus 12. Whoa. Time out. Almost forgot. Before we ever do anything, before we ever learn anything, before we even try to get some new knowledge, you have to make sure that your head is right, man. You got to make sure that your mental health is good, your spiritual health is good. So there's a pledge that we say over ourselves. We've been saying it for the last 3 years, and this just helps clear your mind, helps you get rid of all the mess and all the noise, and it'll help your learning happen faster, quicker, and sharper. All right, here we go. I'm going to put the words on the screen right now. You're going to say it with me. Here's how it's going to go. Something like this. All right, that's the cadence. All right, here we go. On three. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Today is a new day. I can read well. I can understand what I read. I can remember it and apply it correctly. I've got eyes to see, ears to hear, and a mind to understand. It might not be easy, but it's worth it. All right. Ready? All right, let's go. Now I'm ready to go. Whew. 12 is greater than 10 minus 8g minus 11g. All right, so here we go. First step. It's a lot of stuff. Super scary. I don't want to look at it. Oh my gosh, I don't know how to do it. You don't have to do it all in one step. You can do it in as many steps as you need to do it, as long as you get closer and closer and closer and closer to the answer. So all you got to do is follow those 6 steps that we wrote down, and let's go. Step number 1, find the equal sign. Where's the equal sign? I don't see. Oh, it's right here. You treat this guy like the equal sign. So you find him, draw a line down him. The reason why you do that, you got your left side, got your right side. Next step, you look for fractions. Any fractions on the left? Nope. Any fractions on the right? Nope. All right, next step is you're going to look for some parentheses. Any parentheses on the left? Nope. Any parentheses on the right? Nope. Next step, man, this problem's so easy. All right, this next step is I'm going to look for some like terms. This problem does have like terms. Now let me show you what they look like. Look on the left-hand side. You see how this guy has a G and this guy doesn't have a G? Well, because he has a G and he doesn't, these numbers won't mix, so they are not like terms. So there's no like terms on the left. Now let's look at the right-hand side. You see how this guy doesn't have a G, this guy has a G, and then this guy has a G? Well, tell you, guess what? These 2 G's right here are going to be able to combine. So let's combine those G's. Here we go. This G combined with that G. That's the step we're about to do, right? So here we go. Let's draw our line and see what happens. You got negative 20g, right? We didn't touch it. It falls down. You got this plus 12. We haven't touched any of this stuff. Keep the sign the same. This 10 falls down because we didn't touch that yet. Now, let's do this. Negative 8g combined with a negative 11g. All you got to do is type it in just like that into your calculator. You've got negative 8 subtract 11. What does that give you? Negative 8 subtract 11. That gives you a, yes, negative 19. Perfect. So you got negative 19. Don't forget these guys had a G on them. So you keep the G right there. All right, next step. Now that I've finished combining like terms, all right, next step is I want to get all of my letters to the left-hand side. So here's a G right here. There's another G right here. I want to get this guy to come to this side and be with this G. So here we go. I'm going to circle him. Now that I circled him, I'm going to drag him over here to the left-hand side. Now when you bring him over, do not stop underneath this 12. This 12 does not have a G. So you will not put him underneath here. You better put him underneath this negative 20g. So here I go. Nope. Yes. We're going to go right there. Now this negative 19 changes to a positive 19g. And now let's do the math and see what happens here. Negative 20 plus 19 gives us a negative 1. Keep the g on him though. So all I did was type in negative 20 plus 19 and I got negative 1 with the g. Now I've got positive 12. That positive 12 just falls down because I didn't touch him. Keep the symbol the same. Now I've got this 10. Did we touch this 10? No, we didn't. That 10 falls down. This negative 19, is he? No, he is gone. Remember, I moved him. So he's not there anymore. I don't have to worry about him. Now that all my letters are on the left-hand side, now I've got to get all the numbers to the right-hand side. So here's the right-hand side. I want to get all my numbers over here. Well, I've got a number right here that doesn't belong, and then I got a number here that doesn't belong. Well, here's how it works. You can't move both numbers at the same time. You got to pick one, move it, and then move the other guy. So whenever you have a number with a letter, you save him for last. This will be the finishing move. The number with the letter, that's the last step. That's the finishing move. So I'm going to do the other guy first. So in this case, it's a plus 12. I'm going to grab that plus 12. I'm going to put him underneath the other side. He turns into a minus 12. Let's draw a line, see what happens. Let's go. Did we touch this negative 1g? No, we didn't. He is still there. Did we touch this plus 12? Yes, we did touch him, so I don't write him. The symbol stays there. I've got 10 subtract 12. Put that in your calculator. 10 subtract 12 and you get a negative 2. Nice. We are almost done. One more number. Just this guy right here. So this guy's a negative 1. You see how he's side by side with that g? There's no space there. Here's what I mean. Watch this. See how it's negative 1? It's not negative 1 plus g. It's not negative 1 minus g. There's no sign in between there. So because there is no sign there, these guys are side by side. These guys are stuck together. So to take them off when they're side by side, you have to divide. When they are side by side, you divide. So I take him off, put him underneath here, and he stays a negative 1. When you divide, you don't change any signs. You'll see that whenever we do our work. When you divide, you never change signs. So let's see what happens. This g falls down. This symbol right here, I write it down. You got negative 2 divided by negative 1. That gives us a positive 2. Now wait! You're not finished. You got to be very careful whenever you have inequalities. You see how we divided by a negative right here? See how this guy is a negative 1? Because we divided by a negative 1, because we divided by a negative number, it could have been a negative 10, it could have been negative whatever. Because we divided by a negative, we have to flip this sign around. So it's actually g less than 2. That's our final answer. Alright, yeah, we did a ton of work right here. But no big deal. We did it step by step by step. Let's review what we just did. Very beginning, we had this big old junk, all this mess. Got the left side, got the right side. There was no fractions. There was no parentheses, so I didn't have to worry about those. This guy he only had one g and a number, so I couldn't do anything here. This guy had a regular number, but he had 2 g's right there. So we combined those 2 g's to give us this negative 19. Then I wanted to get all my letters to the left. So I brought the negative 19g over to the left-hand side. Whenever you make that move, you got to make it you got to change the sign. That negative became a positive, so I put them underneath this negative 20g. I put this in the calculator, it ended up giving me a negative 1g. I brought everything down because I didn't touch anything else. The 12 fell, the 10 fell. Now I had 2 letters here. Remember the rule is you want to save the number with the letter for the last move. That's the finishing move. So I moved this plus 12 then. That plus 12 goes to the other side. He becomes a minus 12. So you got 10 minus 12 gives us a negative 2. I still got this negative 1 here. So the last step was we divide because these guys are side by side. So we divided by a negative 1. Negative 2 divided by negative 1 gave us a positive 2. But don't forget, when we divided by that negative, we had to change the sign around at the very end. And that's our answer. All right, here we go. Next problem. Super long. No big deal. Here we go. We've got 6 parentheses. 3f plus 8 close parentheses equals 2 parentheses. 18 plus 6f close the parentheses. Now here we go. Big long thing. Let's go step by step so we can chop it down and make it work for us. First step, find the equal sign. Where is it? Found it. Draw a line down it. That way I have my left side and my right side. There's my left, here's my right. Okay, next step is, first thing, look for fractions. Do you see any fractions? Nope, there's no fractions. Alright, the third step is we want to look for parentheses. Do you see any parentheses? Oh yeah, we do. We see parentheses. This is our first time seeing parentheses. So here we go. Here's how we take care of them. To take care and get rid of parentheses, you need to multiply. We're going to multiply the guy on the outside to everybody on the inside. So that 6 is going to multiply to everybody on the inside of the parentheses. So I go 6 times 3 is going to give me a 18. Don't forget that 3 had an F on him, so you got to keep the F with that number. With whatever you get, keep the F on him. Then we go 6 times 8. 6 times 8 gives us how much? 48. Nice. Was that a positive 48 or a minus 48 that you got? Okay, positive, that means you got to put the plus sign or else it'll look weird. Boom, there's our plus sign. Equal sign stays here. Hey, now I got parentheses on the other side. Crime. How do you get rid of that? You already know. We got to multiply. So we're going to multiplication, whenever you have parentheses, it's called distribution. You'll hear that word. So we're going to distribute that 2 to everyone on the inside of the parentheses. So it's going to be 2 times 18. That gives us a 36. Then you got 2 times 6. That gives us a 12. Don't forget he had an F on him. So it's 12F. Now what kind of 12 did you get in the calculator? Was it a positive 12 or a minus 12? Nice. A positive 12, so I'm going to write a plus 12 right here. Nice. Okay, cool. Next step after I'm done with parentheses is try to combine like terms. Look at the left-hand side. I see a number with the letter. I see a regular number. These guys cannot combine. Check out the right side. Here's a number, regular number. Here's a number with the letter. These guys cannot combine. So cool. What's the step after combining like terms? Now I want to bring all the letters to the left-hand side. So all the letters will come to the left. Here's a letter. He's good. Are there any letters over here? Yes. This guy. I got to bring him over to the left-hand side. Do not stop underneath anybody that does not have the same letter. So he's got the F. I'm going to stop when I get to the F on the other side. He has the other F. He's got the F. So I match them up. He was a plus 12. Now I have to write him as the opposite of that. So now he's a minus 12. Now we do this work. We type this in the calculator. 18 subtract 12 gives us how much? 6. Nice. Don't forget there's an F on them. So it's 6F. Did we touch that 48? No. So he falls down. Plus 48. Equal sign stays there. Did we touch this 36? No. So he falls down. Did we touch that plus 12F? Yes, we did. We got rid of him. So he is not there anymore. So this is all that's left on the right-hand side. Now the last step is to make sure all the numbers are on the right. All the numbers have to be on the right-hand side. I got a number here. I got a 6 and I have a 48. These numbers are on the wrong side. I got to kick them out. So here's how you do it. Should I move the 6 first or the 48? Because the 6 has the letter, you can't move him until the very end. This will be your finishing move. So we're going to move this 48 first. Here we go. Circle that 48. He's a plus. When I write him to the other side, he becomes a minus. Let's see what happens. The 6F will fall down because I didn't touch it. This plus 48 is gone. The equal sign stays here. I've got 36 subtract 48. That gives us a negative 12. Now, last step. Let's take care of this 6 right here. Whenever the numbers are side by side, what are you supposed to do? Divide. Very good. So I'm going to take this 6 off and I'm going to divide by him over there. F equals, what's negative 12 divided by 6? Put that in your calculator. That gives us a negative 2. Nice job. There we go. Those are 2 very long examples, but that's as hard as some of your work will be here in Algebra 1. You got to know how to distribute. That's what this problem was about. We distributed that 6. To get rid of those parentheses, you have to multiply by the outside guy to everyone on the inside. So it was 6 times 3 gave us the 18. 6 times 8 gave us this 48. On the other side, the same thing. We had parentheses with the number on the outside. We had to go 2 times 18, that gave us 36. 2 times 6 gave us that 12. And then this problem became like every other problem that we should hopefully know how to do. Alright, I got a couple little tiny examples. Be back. Alright, the next examples I want you to see. See how this guy says C over 2 plus 3 equals 5. This guy says C plus 3 over 2 equals 5. You have to do 2 different things when you're doing these problems. If your fraction is short like this, and it doesn't go all the way across, then we need to take care of this 3 first. But if your fraction is long like this, then you got to take care of this 2 first. So here's how it'll look. If I'm doing this one on the top, I will get rid of this 3 first. He'll go to the other side. Alright? If I'm doing this guy at the bottom, I got to get rid of this 2 first. So it's going to look like this. Alright? Those are the first moves that you got to do. Alright? If it's short fraction, do the other guy first. Big old long fraction, do the other guy. Sorry, do the whole fraction first. Here's the very, very, very last notes. If you have this, if you got a plus plus, this is a plus. If you have a plus minus, that is a minus. If you have a minus plus, that is a minus. If you have a minus minus, that is a plus. Alright, if your problems come out like this with some weird notation with this stuff back to back, well, obviously if it's positive and a positive, that stays a positive. But if you got a plus minus 4 or something like that, if you have two signs that look like this in your problem, you'll see it. I mean, if you don't know what I'm talking about, that means you haven't seen one yet, and that's not a big deal. You'll see one, but whenever you do see one, come back to this. If it's plus minus, that means it's a minus. If it's a minus plus, that means it's still a minus. Because it only takes one of these negative guys to make it a minus sign. Just takes one to make it a negative sign. Now that we got two negative signs, you can take this negative sign, spin him and put him on top of that guy, and make that negative sign a plus sign. So that's how this stuff works. Alright, good luck. Y'all have a great day. Hey, our problems are solved.
Tearing down the roof is my vocation. Anybody want the truth, drop your location. Yeah, and we gon' wiggle out and pull up. Demons ain't safe when we glide.